back for our normal Wednesday in the news segment with Rick Mauch from the Burlington Record. It is Wednesday, April 28th. What do we got?
In the news. Oh, good. I didn't hear you correctly.
Is there a paper this week?
Well, I'm glad I opted to wear clothes. It's in the news.
In the news, no.
Yeah, that's okay. Good. So I erred on the side of caution correctly.
You should hit the dun-dun. Do you know which button that is?
As Larry the Cable Guy would say, that's funny right there. I don't care who you are.
We got one actually on there. Yeah. We'll have to test that out. But we need that for this segment so we can start doing drum rolls. All right, what do we got?
Got a lot in the news this week. I tell you what, getting a lot of traffic to our website. I know we talk about that a lot every week. I want to talk about our online poll this week because it follows up a discussion that you and I had at the start of our segment last week. The question is, do you agree with the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial, where he was found guilty of murdering George Floyd? I wrestled a little bit with making that the question because it is a controversial topic, but then I thought, that's part of what polls are about. A lot of times they're fun. A lot of times if there's something in the news, you go for the controversy. You don't create the controversy, but if it's there and you can get opinions on it. And I won't give away exact numbers, but I will say that so far it is overwhelming in one direction as to how people think. And but it's on there. Take a vote. Take a look and vote. And I will say that I'm personally proud of the people for what they seem to be thinking when they take this poll.
Do you want to throw the website out one more time too?
Yeah, it's www.burlington-record.com. And I guess what I would say is the way that people are responding to this poll is a positive way. It shows steps. It shows steps in the right direction. And we've already started talking about what next week's question might be, which
we'll save that for next week.
That will be a doozy as well. You kind of got
tune in. Yeah, It'll be a good one.
You kind of got an up close sneak peek at
I did
at that particular subject. So, and we may have more on that as well. Definitely, if that's the poll question, we'll have more on that. But a great issue of the paper this week. Here's a copy of the front page. We have a tremendous story on, and I believe you had this lady in as a guest, the upcoming event this weekend to deal with sex trafficking.
Yeah, Autumn Bancroft. Yeah,
Sherry Webb did a great story promoting that event, and getting some really great comments from connections, and I'm really glad to see that is. I'm really glad to see that is taking place. My wife and I have been big supporters of Ashton Kutcher's project that battles human trafficking, and we lived in the Fort Worth area before moving here, and there were one or two parts of the Fort Worth area where it's really big. And one of them happened to be a mall that we would take our granddaughters and go play in and shop in. We stopped once this became a problem, and it was a problem. They were they would have vans, just white vans, pull up and mysteriously park by certain exits, particularly the not so main exits, the side exits that might lead you through a little alley as you're going to the parking lot or something.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a story about this for a publication when I was living down there, and the local gangs are working with cartels and what have you to kidnap these humans, and next thing you know, they're
gone.
Yeah, they're
yeah,
gone.
I mean,
gone.
I'm going to try and have some other people on here on that issue. I'm searching around right now. Well, because it's flying under the radar.
It's flying under the radar, and I think that's great that you are going to have those people on there. And at some point, I might even want to talk to those same people for a story in the paper. See how we work hand in hand?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I don't want to scare anyone, but a town like Burlington,
people need to be aware.
We need to be aware, because I know where I came from. The interstate was a big part of it.
Yep.
If you were a small town near the interstate, it was very easy to get off.
We're right on I-70, and we've got 385, and we're at a crossroads here.
So I'm not going to speak for the police or the sheriff's department or anything. They would know much more about this than I do. But just from what I've learned over the years, a couple of things I've written about it, I do know that towns near the interstate, especially small towns that you can get in and out of real easy.
Yep. Rural towns, you've got like Goodland too, where you've got that Walmart. And you've got stores.
Watch your children. Yes, Goodland, the Walmart parking lot. So
that's Autumn's. That's on the front page right there.
Yeah,
that's really great that you guys did that. Awesome.
Well, that's a fantastic event. I hope they raise a lot of money, and I'm just really thrilled to see that they're doing this. We've got a story in about the new local dialing procedures in 719 and 970 area codes.
No more 7-digit dialing. Is that what that's about?
You know what?
Right, because of the new suicide national number, and that affects our area codes.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The FCC has approved 988 to reach the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Yeah. So
I don't fully understand how that impacts our 719, but I do know that.
I wondered that as well.
But, and I never used 7-digit dialing because I came from Denver. That's where I grew up. Mm-hmm. So out here, people use it all the time. I mean, they just dial those 7 digits.
I just punch the contact and.
Yeah, that's a quicker way.
Heaven help me if.
But I think a lot of people are going to have to get used to that. That you have to put all 10 numbers in.
And heaven help me if I lose that contact, because then I'm having to rely on knowing the number. And
I'll have to read that article. That's interesting.
We've all lost our phone, and we've all gotten the mysterious text, and then you go, "Who is this?" And it turns out to be your cousin that you just saw last week, but you don't know them by the number. You only know them by the name.
Not anymore. Yeah, that's gone away. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. If I had to contact my own daughter, I'd have to go, "Hey, who is this?"
I'm sure you know her number though.
Don't be so sure about that.
Okay.
We got a new congressional seat in Colorado, first time in 20 years, and the story details how we have, I think we have almost 745,000 people have moved here in the last decade.
It's a lot of people.
So we are getting a new congressional district, which will give us a new seat in the House. We now have an estimated 5.8 million people in Colorado.
Wow.
So that's our first change in 20 years, 2001, since the 7th District's creation, north and west of Denver. So we're going to be gaining. I understand California is going to be losing. Texas is going to get a couple, and I don't remember beyond that. I only remember those because, I live in Colorado. I used to live in Texas, and I have family in California. So, this is cool. The local VFW got honored for 75 years of service.
That is cool.
They got something called the Diamond Jubilee Award. And Ed Dowd, the local commander, brought brought it by. We got a nice picture of him. I'm really glad to see that. My dad served in World War II, and was something of a hero, in fact. And as far as I'm concerned, all these guys are heroes. We have our freedom because of them.
Okay.
And I'm just really glad to see that
75 years is
75 years is a long time to be serving, and if you're someone who fought in a foreign war, and we have a lot of young people now who have fought in, because we've been at war, so reach out to them. That's a great. I fell between the cracks. I didn't serve myself. As I said, my father did, and I'm very, very proud of his history, and I've heard so many of his stories over the years.
Likewise.
But I didn't serve myself. Not that I wouldn't have. I just
my dad was in the Army as well. So
if you served, the local VFW would love to hear from you. They have plenty of room for you to come and join in. Burlington City Council report this week. This report mostly consists of the fact that they need coaches for T-ball and the baseball and softball.
Lifeguards.
Lifeguards. The city needs lifeguards. A 3-on-3 basketball league is getting started, and we have a bigger story on that in sports.
Well, and you know what's causing that shortage where we're having issues? It's because they extended the sports season. So So a lot of the people, and that's the same with the lifeguards, I'm sure. A lot of the young people who would normally do that job are it's kind of creating some
still
issues.
Be playing.
So hopefully, if anyone listening knows, the city needs a lot of help.
Yeah, and Old Town needs.
I think they're looking for
They're looking for can girls and gunfighters. So. Get in touch with Nikki, because I'm really glad to see that coming back. I think that's a tremendous attraction for Old Town. And honestly, since I moved here last July and there wasn't the shootouts and the can girls, it's something brand new to me as well. I'm excited about it coming back. And then we have a bit from Dawn. We have her weekly COVID update, and she explains why you should get vaccinated. And I know, we're not going to get into a debate with anyone listening or whatever. I know people have their reasons for getting vaccinated or for not getting vaccinated. But whatever you do, just be safe. If you want to get vaccinated, personally, I am for it. I have been vaccinated. My whole house has been vaccinated. Most of the office has been vaccinated. But if that's not your thing, for whatever reason, just be safe.
Be safe.
Don't go hugging everybody you see. Don't go kissing everybody you see, although I realize sometimes that is really hard to resist.
Did you see in the UK, there was an article this morning that said 7 out of 10 people had tested positive for the antibodies?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So that's good news.
That is good news, yeah. Sports. Lady Cougars wrapped up a rough season. It was a rough season for Burlington volleyball, but they're young. They only had 2 seniors on the team this year. So I am optimistic about what lies around the corner. And Coach Malia talks a little bit about that. And then also it was senior day, and you can see that we honored the 2 seniors.
Very cool.
Last issue, yeah. Girls golf is starting, and the Lady Cougars are ready to get out on the links. In fact, I think they had a tournament either yesterday or day before. Baseball is back, and Burlington looks to have a pretty decent team. They have a fair amount of talent back from 2 years ago when they won the league.
Huh.
So I think it's going to be a good baseball season for the Cougars.
I'm just glad all these sports are back.
Track is back. We'll have something on that next week.
Awesome.
Here's, as I mentioned earlier in the council report, and this is a little more expansion on it. Keenan Williams, the Lady Cougars basketball coach, is starting a 3-on-3 league this summer, and it's for grades 3 through 12. looks like it'll be fun. We'll run standings and what have you that he gets to us, and I like what he has brought to town with his enthusiasm. The guy knows how to coach. He's really brought a lot of oomph back into that program, and I think the future of Burlington basketball is well. We already knew it was in good hands on the boys' side with Jake, and now Keenan is reestablished the girls as don't want to say a powerhouse yet, but they did make the Sweet 16 this year, and they have a ton of talent back. They're losing Trinity Perry, which will be a big loss, but a lot of talent back, and I'm excited to see what they bring next year. This year, volleyball, not done yet. We have a team here that could actually win a state championship.
Stratton Liberty.
They did lose for the first time. They lost at Briggsdale. Stratton Liberty ended the regular season number 5 in the state. Briggsdale finished number 6. So I don't think there's any shame in going to the number 6 ranked team in the state and losing in 5 games. Both of those teams have a chance to make it down to Colorado Springs. Stratton Liberty is hosting Region 5 tournament this weekend. You can go see those games Saturday, those matches Saturday starting at 11:30. It's Stratton Liberty, and let's see who else
Where is that at?
It's at Stratton High School. I assume. I don't think they're playing at Liberty. Looking to see. I know the games begin Saturday at 11:30, and the winner will advance to state tournament in Colorado Springs, May 12th and 13th.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, and I would be very surprised if Stratton Liberty didn't get there, because they are really, really good. They've played 5 state-ranked teams this year, 4 of them on the road. Of course, they're 4-1 in those matches, and that among those is a road victory over Lyman, which is a perennial power in Class 2A. I mean, not to put any additional pressure on the team or anything, but I would be surprised if Stratton Liberty did not win this region on their home court this weekend.
Well, I'm going to be pulling for them and then going to the Springs.
You never want to see a team lose, but if you're going to lose, I mean, right before the playoffs, that's the time to do it. Get a little reality check.
So they're going to the Springs either way at this point.
Well, I mean, they have to win the regional tournament this weekend, but they should.
Yeah,
they should.
I see what you meant, because they just dropped that game. I gotcha.
Yeah, no, they dropped the last regular season match.
That can bring a little sense of urgency to you. So.
It could. It could be a wake up call for them. But I would be very surprised if they didn't make it to Colorado Springs. So lot of things going on. Then then we have our usual features. A really nice photo page this week. We had proms going on in the areas and in the area, and those provide pictures galore. The Cub Scout dinner was
ham and beans feed was
great, man.
Awesome.
That was some of the best ham and beans that I've had.
It turned out good, and thanks to the whole community that supported it.
Yeah, I was glad.
A really big turnout. So.
I was glad to see the turnout they had, and the kids were so nice and polite and helpful, and saw Logan as we were going in the door, and it was funny because I saw him, and we had our mask on as we were walking in. Of course, we took them off when we ate, but I said, "Hey, Logan," and he looks at me. I said, "I'm Rick." And I took the mask. I said, "Last night, bought tickets from you." "Oh, hi, Mr. Mauch. How you doing?"
Yep, they're funny at that.
And then
age.
I realized, oh yeah,
he's not used to seeing me with a mask.
He saw me in a mask. He probably no telling what the poor kid thought.
Sasquatch. No, it was a good event. So
yeah, he probably thought, I'm glad they're having that big hats thing this weekend. Get people like him out of town.
Yeah, right. No, he appreciated everyone showing up.
But it was fun. It was fun. And I spent a year in Cub Scouts when I was younger. I spent a year in Boy Scouts after that. And then I realized I'm not that crazy about camping.
Really? Yeah, you gotta like camping. I love to camp.
I mean, I'm joking about that. I mean, it was camping. The camping was fun. I just realized that my heart was set on things like baseball and other things. But no, I enjoyed the couple of years that I spent in Scouts and made some good friends and what have you. And I just and I had a number of friends who went on to do things like become Eagle Scouts and what have you, and they're much more disciplined in life than I am now, and probably doing much better in whatever they chose to do. And I get sympathy letters every now and then. Sometimes they include money.
Right.
They can continue to do that if they want.
How many presidents have been Eagle Scouts?
Gosh. I know Gerald Ford was one, I believe.
There you go. One. That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, wow.
Look at you. That's impressive.
Do you know Gerald Ford lived in Vail?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either until
way before.
We went up there and we explored different parts of Colorado and what have you, and we went to Vail, and I saw Gerald Ford Drive or whatever it was called, and then my wife Googled it, and Gerald Ford lived in Vail. I don't know why, but I mean nothing against Vail. I don't mean like why would you live in Vail,
but why he happened to be there.
I just don't understand why Gerald Ford had a connection, but he did. So yeah, no, Vail's a nice place.
Yeah, it is.
Not as nice as Burlington, but.
Okay.
And you can live in Burlington a lot cheaper.
Yeah, you can't live in Vail.
Yeah, no, you can't. My garage would rent for $4,000 a month in Vail.
That's true.
But yeah, another good week with the Burlington Record. Buy the paper. Check out the website. There's always something cool popping up on the website. Always something great in the paper. I do want to draw attention to. This is Jan Knapp in our office took these pictures, and they are a supermoon. And what a supermoon is, it is when the full moon coincides with the moon's closest approach to Earth in its orbit. So we had a full moon, and at the same time, the moon came closer to Earth than I guess any other time of the year, and that's how you get that supermoon.
It's a great pick.
So, yeah. And if a full moon creates werewolves, I have no idea what a supermoon creates, but I stayed in that night.
Bigfoot. All right, well, thanks for stopping by.
As always.
Yeah. And then we'll be looking at our next edition next Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we might have a pretty cool feature on something local.
Okay. Breaking news. Good.
Yeah. Well, there's always something cool.
There's always something in there. So, but I'm excited to hear about that. So that'll be good.
You might even get a little bit of a hint in an upcoming interview that you've got. So.
Okay. Sounds good.
So, all right.
Thank you.
Leave them curious.
All right. See you next week.
All right, my friend.